But in the end, we just want to share it with you because as our platform and our megaphone continues to get smaller, I'm afraid that I'm going to lose the opportunity to say this to you. I don't want to miss it. I don't want you to miss it. All right, well, I got a really bad feeling about what's coming, and I'm done pretending that I don't. And I'm also done being quiet about it. For years, I've kept my mouth shut for fear that I might offend somebody. I certainly don't want to sound crazy, and I never wanted to stir the pot. But the truth is, I've never felt the world shifting like this before. And if you've been paying attention, you've noticed it too. So today, I am done being quiet. I'm breaking the silence. It's time for me to come clean with you. And I'm also going to say a lot of things that people are scared to admit.
2 rings, 1 vow, they sealed it in ink. Kitchen table dreams scribbled in the sink. Bills piled high, but the faith ran deeper.
Hey everyone, welcome to It's All Grady. I'm Denise.
And I'm Marcel.
Welcome to our channel.
Yeah, welcome to our channel. If you don't already know, we're a couple that gave up our city life for something different. And we found ourselves in north central Arkansas building our dream house and a homestead, which is exactly what we've been telling you for 4 years now. And I've been convincing you and myself of it. But today I'm coming clean. First and foremost, I want to say this conversation is not political, nor is it fear-mongering. It's just time for a reality check. So truth is, Denise and I, we didn't move from the big city. We fled the big city. Because if you guys can all recall, a few years ago, the people that were running things pulled the emergency brake on everybody's life. And where we were, it revealed a lot. And it scared Denise and I into making decisions that led us out here. So the truth is, we're out here because we started seeing cracks in the system. And it made us concerned. It drove us to want to come out here for something different. It was something safer.
Hey guys, welcome to the channel. It's cold, rainy, and gloomy. And honestly, it's days like this that bring out those real conversations. The conversations that people avoid, that are uncomfortable, but yet necessary.
All right, folks, I just want to say once again, we're not here to scare you. I'm not trying to sell fear. I'm only just trying to share with you what I've lived and what I have seen and what we all feeling.
If you feel like something's off lately, tell us down in the comments below. You're not alone.
Hey guys, just real quick, if you are enjoying our content or you agree with what we're talking about, please give me a thumbs up. Subscribe and maybe holler down below. Let us know, what have you experienced? Let me know I'm not losing my mind. We all crazy up in here. All right, let's get back after it. Let's rewind just for a second. Like 5 years ago, that wasn't an actual apocalypse. But what it was an X-ray. It showed us what was cracked underneath the surface that we didn't notice. It was shelves that were empty. It was hospitals that were overwhelmed. It was people panicking over toilet paper. Like I legitimately seen people fighting over this stuff. And I'm going to share a little bit with you about that. And the biggest thing was, it was like nobody knew what was going to happen next. It was a short time, a little longer, and this is where I'm going to share it with you real quick. It started out kind of understandable, like they would put the old people first, and we were like, oh, okay, that makes sense. And then it was the first responders and the emergency personnel. Oh, man, that like totally makes sense. And then they divided us with our, what is that even? That doesn't even make sense. Why would they divide us like that? The cracks are being revealed. And with all of that chaos that was scaring most everybody that actually witnessed it, just want you to know that was just a small test. It was a small stress test created by the people that are running things.
It wasn't about politics. It was about human nature and the fragile systems we all depend on.
Exactly. What we seen and what we witnessed was most people weren't even prepared a little bit. And it's probably because they were never taught to be. Like, we didn't even really know that we needed to be. Because everything we seen before that painted a much different picture, one that we all trusted. It's like we were all raised to be more comfortable rather than more resilient. You don't really realize how dependent you really are until those systems start to wobble. We're dependent on grocery stores, people dependent on government checks, dependent on corporations, and we're dependent on those jobs that seem like they can just disappear overnight. To me, that is not freedom. That's captivity, y'all. That's captivity dressed up to look like comfort. That's scary.
And we say that because we lived it. We walked away from a successful business because deep down we knew that comfort wasn't security.
So sure, we were financially free. We were safe and comfortable when it came to being able to pay our bills. But truly, we were not free at all. We were a slave to a system that was about to defy us and betray us. The truth is what was revealed shook us to our bones. It seemed like everything we thought we knew for sure was not even close to what was reality. We watched a system fracture in front of our eyes. We seen an entire country come to its knees. That's scary. All right, so this part is going to ruffle some feathers, and I'm certain somebody's going to take it out of context. I want you to know that I'm not placing judgment on the people that need this. We're going to have to talk about what just happened with the taxpayer-funded nutrition assistance program. This is a part that makes my blood boil. They didn't just wake up one day, not entirely, and say, let's just make everything harder for everybody. They shut it down and froze it because the system was being scammed to death. You got people that hide their incomes. You got people that pretend like they're separated so that they can continue to qualify for the benefits that the taxpayers are flipping the bill for. Now, I'm not talking about the disabled. And I'm not talking about the single mom or the grandma who are out there just trying to make it. A lot of people, with people I actually know, they try their best. They just can't make ends meet, and it's no fault of their own. It's a system that's being controlled by other people, other interests, and when they make decisions, it can change the outcome for us. What was sufficient yesterday is no longer sufficient for them. And those are the people that need it. We don't want people like that to struggle. It's called a come up. It's a hand up, baby. And when that thing snapped, the people, the ones you know, that really need that help, they were the ones that got hurt the most. The ones that were scamming the system, they just moved on. They never needed it anyways. It was just a little extra fluff. What was it? Like 8 weeks frozen and now everybody has to reapply. How scary is that? That's what happens when you base your future on somebody else's dime and the decisions that other people make for you, because you see it now. They are in control. So the abuse itself pushes the system to a breaking point. And when that thing finally breaks, it never ever lands on the scammers. It lands on those moms that are trying to keep food in the house. And it lands on the elderly. It lands on those honest folks that really truly needed that safety net. Tell me in the comments if you saw the same thing where you live. Did you see people panicking when those benefits got frozen? Did you happen to notice a difference between the ones who had a little backup and the ones that didn't? And that's why I keep saying that dependency, it truly is a type of slavery. When your whole life is dependent on a card that the government or somebody else in control can turn off, you're in trouble. You are a slave. We are definitely not free. That is definitely not freedom. It's just one decision, one shutdown, and one policy change away from crumbling. And suddenly, you find yourself standing there with empty hands. And if we being honest about it, the kind of food that these benefits tend to cover, you know, the ones at the grocery store, these things aren't even healthy anyways. It's processed garbage that's cheap. And honestly, it's hard on your body. Over time, people get sicker, they get more exhausted, and they become more dependent. And they actually start to become part of another machine, which is something that we'll cover on another topic conversation. We all know the medical industry is complicit. So yeah, the abuse is real. The scams, they are real. The broken system, this is not an illusion. It's fragile as it seems. However, this is the part, folks, this is the part that we can control. So I'm just going to touch on something real quick because I don't want people to think that I'm calloused and cold and I don't understand. It really truly did hurt us to know that people were being affected in a fashion that it was very scary for them. You don't know what you're gonna do next. You know, the people that really need it. And what I found myself was getting angry at the people that I know that are abusing the system. And you know who you are. Now, I'm probably not talking to many of the people that watch us. I'm probably just preaching to the choir, but I'm hoping that somebody hears this that needs to hear it. Those things ruin other people's lives. You're taking from somebody else. The government doesn't have a handout, folks. And I'm certain most of you guys know that. They take it from the taxpayer. They're spending checks that belong to our great-grandkids right now. They're robbing all of us blind because they're also part of a system that is exactly the same as the taxpayer-funded nutrition assistance program. They get everything paid for them. They don't want to disrupt it. All they do, though, is throw us a bone. They just throw in a bone. I can tell you for me, I grew up in a system like that. So I'm embarrassed to say it, but I'm going to anyways because I know this is real because I grew up in that system. We manipulated. The system was taught to us how to manipulate it so that we could gain benefits. And we were always told, government funded, you deserve this. All the flibberty-flabberty that came along with it. Truth be told, they were feeding themselves by scamming the system. We pay $1, it costs 10,000. And it's crazy. It's time for us to break that cycle, guys. Once again, I grew up in that. I could have continued it. Welfare probably very well could have become my financial plan, but it didn't. I broke through. I broke free of that system. It's not that it's my own system, but it's one that I feel safe and I trust, which is debt-free for one. Don't let anybody control you that way if you can help it. Not all of us can, and I understand that, but don't make it bigger. Right? That's one way to sever yourself from the system and make sure that you're not relying on any more than you have to. We all have to rely on a system, folks. There is a system for every single one of us. Even the grocery store is part of the machine. And we all know it. When they wanted to, they shut the ones down that they wanted and they left the ones that they wanted open. And that was the choices that you had, not the choices that you could make. It was the choices that were given to us. We can't do that anymore. We also can't coddle the ones that we know that are scamming the system. You know who you are. I'm personally carrying mud right now for people that I know that are scamming that system. Well, probably not anymore. If they have to reapply, they'll probably not try to cross that. But I just wonder if they think about who got hurt over what they thought was entitled to them just because they could qualify. Miss me with that. And that there, folks, that is the problem. Once again, I don't want to come across as preachy. I'm actually hurt and I'm frustrated. I'm so very frustrated for the people that need these things and how dependent we become on a system that is delusional and fractured and weak and not even sustainable. I'm not saying run out and buy property and get chickens, but I'm saying maybe start looking at some of this stuff because we already shop, folks, for a week at least. Couple days to a week, let's add a little to it. But before we get into that, let's go. Folks, we don't have to build our lives on a system that is that fragile. At some point in time, we have to admit that you got to cut your losses and move on. It's time to try something different, and every one of us can take action in this. It's about taking personal responsibility, taking that one small step that you have available to you to make you prepared for the next situation that you've got no control over, the ones that come and get you from the side you never see coming. What can we do? Some of us, we can learn how to grow a little bit, right? You can grow something, maybe, not all of us, but some of us can, and the ones that can, you should. You can save a little extra. You guys can stockpile like us. We can stockpile a little bit extra, but most of all, we should all try to learn a little extra and document this stuff. I'm talking hardbacks, paper copies. Make sure that you don't try to rely on remembering a skill that we have already all but lost entirely. You can preserve in many different ways. There's just like so many things that we can do. Bulk shopping, that is huge. If you in a city, buy 3 pounds of pasta and put 2 of it away for a rainy day. I can tell you for us, I started long ago, but it wasn't because I was overly scared of a system that was about to fracture. As a matter of fact, I was delusional in this system. However, I was a contractor, I was a painter. So by nature, if you're a painter or a contractor or you work outside, you're going to find yourself seasonally doing things. So I stockpiled already. I started prepping. And the other aspect was, it really is just tied together, was poor. And when you grow up poor, oftentimes, unless somebody's carrying you, you learn how to stretch that. So what I did was I bulk shopped. I went to one of the big box stores, you know, the club, right? I bought a membership. I went and bought big meat, big packs of this, big packs of that. I would break them down into smaller segments and stow them away. And I learned a lot doing that, guys. Just going to share some of that with you in case it isn't in the video anywhere else. You ready for this? Stockpiling there is a technique to it. For the love of God, don't buy a bucket that has food for 25 years later. You'll never know if it's no good. Buy the food that you eat and rotate it out. Even after all these years, I've got 2 boxes of beans that I let go 2 years because I didn't cycle them out. What would happen if the lights went out tomorrow? I ain't ready. Got a lot to learn. And all of my mistakes I'm going to share with you guys. And that's one of my big ones. Don't get fooled into the 25-year buckets, folks. Buy the stuff that you eat. Cycle it out because freshness is important. And if you got a bucket today and you need it for 25 years and 10 years from now the lights go out, you only got 15 years left. You might need more time than that. So don't let that be your answer or your solution. However, it is a good start. So I'm not talking bad about it. I'm just saying that I never even ate mine at all. It's terrible tasting, right? Let's get this stuff we like to eat and learn how to stockpile that stuff. All right, so let's talk about another important aspect of this, folks. We cannot be prepared if our health is falling apart. If our entire diet relies on processed garbage because that's all we can afford, or maybe that's all that seems the grocery store shelves have, folks, we are not free. And that's a reason a lot of real homesteaders start to homestead. It's one of those things, guys. It's called food insecurity. I'm almost convinced that if you are a real homesteader, you probably came out here with prepper mentality or a broken food system because it's unhealthy. It has something to do with that. Or maybe it's just a refuge, which is also part of our story as well. We were seeking refuge from a world we didn't seem to fit in. And sometimes you just need to make those choices. It's just like our food. If we continue to allow somebody else to decide what is healthy for you and legal for you or not, then somebody else is taking your freedom. How in the world are we allowed to drink beer but not raw milk? Miss me with that stuff. You crazy. Who's making these choices? Man, you know what it is? It's a system rigged to pick the winners and the losers because they want to take it away from us to give it to the ones that they can easily scam with. It's a freaking broken ass system. Only for us, not for them. It's working out perfect for them though. Guarantee it. They ain't ready to give up that Ponzi scheme yet. You see them, they running like cockroaches right now because that web of scams and lies, it's coming apart. And social media has all but ruined this for them, I believe. It's catching up. We all know a little more today because of it. So this is what we're doing, guys, to try to get ahead before things get worse. Number one, we're trying to get our vehicles fixed, right? We're trying to get things taken care of, some of the financial stuff before prices continue to go insanely higher based on decisions that people that are running things make. They make these decisions based on how much money they can make. Has nothing to do with whether we can make it or not. So don't be delusional. Nobody's coming to save us. It's on us to figure this one out. So the next thing we're doing is we're removing our chicken coops. Because another thing we don't have to do is worry about being ready for stuff, right? We got a lot on our plate already. You got winter coming. We've got all this insanity going on at the same time. There's freaking flying saucers in the air. Nobody want to talk. What is going on? Either it's a lie or they don't know. It's a psyop or they don't know. And both of those are scary to me. I don't know what it is to you. Holla down below. Isn't it at least a little bit concerning that they either don't know or it's a psyop or they're not telling us the truth? What else am I doing? I'm trying to upgrade my water systems. We are building our dream house, our bunker, and our compound, and it's a real deal. And one of the things we got to do is make sure that we fortify our water system a little bit better. And not everybody has that option. Not everybody has a well or a quarter-acre catfish pond or anything like that. But what you can do is get a gravity water filter. I lived in the city, and I bought one. It was a Berkey. It was way too expensive. You don't need to spend all that money if that's an issue, which it typically is, but there's a lot of options out there and you can even learn how to make one. Learning how to filter water is essential because when we were in the city, this is what happened to us. We bought that Berkey because the water tasted like kakalaka boo-boo. It turned out the water was contaminated with lead, levels high enough for them to finally say, hey, we noticed all your kids are getting real dumb and all the old people got high blood pressure. Yeah, well, what is that about? That's all that lead contamination we was getting, right? And they didn't tell us until they were high enough to where they couldn't hide it anymore. We already had prolonged exposure, except for we didn't. We had a Berkey and we filtered that yucca-lucca out. Or we bought water, which probably had plastic in it, but we still didn't drink that city water. And that's what you can do, man, just stocking a little bit. But I'm going to tell you right now, I've made water storage mistakes. Number one, I've got a bunch of those, like the Culligan water system bottles. They broke. I've got them sitting out in camper house for a long time now. A couple of years, that water is at best dangerous. Probably not good for much. And would I want to run it through my water filtration? Only if it was absolutely necessary. So one thing I got to do, and I would recommend anybody else doing, is make sure you're cycling that stuff. Your filters, make sure you got an extra set. Those water filtration systems, 3, 4, 5 years worth of filtering out of these things. Get one. What else are we doing? We're trying to stockpile a little bit of extra feed, things like that, before the prices continue to skyrocket. We already know that this time of year, a lot of things slow down. And when things slow down, the system slows down, prices go up. And that's just the way it is. And when we're already on a market and an economy that is stressed to the max, I know some people trying to say things are good because the stock market is something or another, but it doesn't reflect in the grocery store, and I don't notice it. And you probably don't notice it either. I still can't walk out of the grocery store without almost needing counts. And what else are we doing? We just really trying to tie the odds and ends up. Make sure that we got all of our affairs in order. Because right now is not the time to slack. And everything's going to kind of slow down anyways because of the weather. The cold temperatures are going to bring more opportunities for you to make sure that you're getting things ready. And I know that sometimes it can sound like I'm fear-mongering, but I'm going to implore you. We truly do care about you guys, and we don't want you to suffer either. And one day, all of this could be gone, and we just want to know that we said something to the people that we love. Hey guys, we want you to be ready because we love you. And we don't want to think that you were suffering because we were afraid to say something about it for fear of retribution or fear of bad marks from the platform that we're on, or whatever, the bad attention that we'll get. People will say bad things to us or take us out of, take us however they want to, or maybe they'll be hateful because they're part of that system and they know they was scamming it. But in the end, we just want to share it with you because as our platform and our megaphone continues to get smaller, I'm afraid that I'm going to lose the opportunity to say this to you. I don't want to miss it. I don't want you to miss it. And you're probably not going to anyways. You're probably better at this than me. But maybe if we share some of this stuff, we'll get it figured out together. All right, so I just want to say that when you have systems like this that are overloaded and riddled with fraud, eventually something's going to break. And I think that could possibly be what's happening. And it's not just the taxpayer-funded nutrition assistance program. There's other systems. Like I truly do. I walk around, or I've been around where I live now, and I see farmers 60, 70, 80 years old still working themselves to death to flip the bill for somebody that was actually on my property, bragging about I got my 100% disability while borrowing my tools to go do a job that a 100% disabled person should have never been doing. And the taxpayer flipped that bill. That stuff, it fragments the whole system. That 80-year-old man who's crinkled up trying to catch a pig for me, he's the one that deserves that. And you guys out there, you know whether you deserve it or not. We're not all bad people. I was part of that system as well. And maybe I still am, and maybe I don't even see it. I would hope that somebody would bring it to me if I was part of that system too. I just know that it scares me and it hurts me to see all of that, especially when I know that a lot of people today, they depend on the next person's honesty to make a system that is still there for the ones that we love in the future. And if everybody's trying to dig the crumbs out of that cookie jar, there's going to be nothing left for the future. That's scary. Get it together. We all have a part to play in this. And right now I'm going through with it because I already said it. I'm carrying somebody else's mud right now. And it hurts me. But what would my intentions be? And would I make a difference? I don't know. Soul searching, baby. All right, back to getting ready. Guys, preparation is not fear. One place I want you to understand that you need to be the most prepared. Number 1 is water, right? Number 2, food. Number 3 is up here. Geez. Shelter is important too, right? But your head has to be straight. Make sure you're working on this and this right here, guys. You want to work on yourself. Spiritually, mentally, physically, all of them, guys. Don't leave anything out because nobody's coming to save you if it does. When the lights go out, nobody's coming to save you. So the best decisions you'll ever make are going to be based on where you are up here. Get your head right and get your heart right. You feel me? Being prepared, guys, is not fear. It's taking responsibility. It's being proactive in your own future. Ultimately, it's refusing to be blindsided again. I don't know who makes the decisions. We only know the mouthpieces on TV, but those are Those are puppets. Who's the master? So take control, folks. Take it anywhere you can. Let's not wait for anybody to rescue us. Let's start getting strong today. And strength, folks, that brings peace. Life, it can certainly flip overnight. But taking those small steps, those are the ones that'll make you stable in a world that isn't. None of us have to re-overhaul our entire lives. You don't have to give up your life in the big city and move to the country and build your dream house in a compound and all that stuff. It's just one step. Take one step this week. Buy one extra can. I know times are tough, but if there's a sale, whatever, just try to be ready for that. And once again, I'm certain I'm preaching to the choir. Most of you all probably way better than I am at this. I'm just afraid not to say it anymore.
All right, you guys, so we just wanted to bring that to you guys because it's been on our mind. This is how we live on a regular basis. And it's kind of hard to share stuff like that without reflecting some kind of urgency, and we don't want to fearmonger. That's the last thing that we want to do with you guys.
Exactly.
But we love you guys, and we want you to be prepared no matter what comes your way.
And we want this we really truly want this message brought to you shameless. I'm tired of being afraid to tell people what's obvious. Somebody's going to get hurt over this, probably because they're scamming the system. So they're going to unsubscribe and put hateful comments or whatever. I'm not trying to shame the person that's scamming the system at the same time entirely. The system is designed that way. It's encouraged that way. But we worried about the little ones, the future. You know what I'm saying?
That's where it's at.
That's where it's at.
All right, you guys. So we want to thank you so much for hanging out with us on this one.
Sorry if we took you by surprise, but we hope it's well received. I hope you know that our intentions are genuine. At the risk of losing it all, we're bringing it to you for real.
All right, you guys, we're going to wrap this one up for now. So if you enjoy our content, please be sure to give us a big thumbs up.
Bama-lama.
Ring that notification bell.
I appreciate it when you do that, guys. I'll let you know when our videos are available for viewing.
Be sure to share our videos.
I love you when you do that. It helps us become part of that algorithm. Yeah, hype us up maybe. Yeah, and subscribe right now. All right.
All right, you guys, we love and appreciate you guys.
Thanks for watching.
We'll see you on the next one.
All right, bye.
Bye.
Bills piled high